All new at 6 tonight, a just released state report finds there are nearly 1 million businesses in Georgia owned by women and minorities. But the state says it does not know how much state contracting goes to those companies. Channel 2 investigative reporter Richard Belcher is live at the state capitol. Richard, do we even have an estimate of how much state businesses these companies can get?
We know the most about the state DOT because the federal government requires DOT to track how much it spends with companies owned by minorities and women. In the last full year, DOT says that was about $89 million, or roughly 5.5% of total DOT spending. But there's billions more in state spending about which we know very little. In July, Governor Kemp directed the state's purchasing agency to study how the state can help small businesses owned by women, minorities, and veterans to get state work. The report tells us a lot about complaints from the companies and what the state's doing to help. Among the findings, a survey of small businesses found that 60% have no experience with the state bid process. 90% identified needs such as access to capital and assistance with bidding. But as Channel 2 first reported, the state has no idea how much of its total spending goes to companies owned by minorities and women. It knows about DOT only because Washington requires the state to track that. 5.5% of total DOT spending went to so-called disadvantaged businesses in the most recent year. But for about $4.9 billion in annual spending, the state says it can't tell how much was spent with companies owned by minorities and women, and the new report doesn't provide any more clarity.
I was looking for something simple. How much does the state spend, and how much of that goes to minority-owned businesses? State
Representative Roger Bruce was disappointed the report doesn't include a spending breakdown.
They were able to do it for DOT, so why didn't they just do it for the whole state at the same time?
The Fulton County legislator says he hopes the issue attracts voters' attention even in a year dominated by inflation, abortion, and crime.
At the root of a lot of the issues that we have in the state is the ability for minority-owned businesses and the businesses that we're dealing with in this subject to be able to pay their bills.
Does he want to alter the competitive bidding requirement to help minority firms?
I wouldn't say that I was looking to change it to favor them. I would just, I would look to change it to allow them to compete effectively.
Representative Bruce praised Governor Kemp for undertaking or directing that the study be undertaken, but says he wishes the governor had made that order much earlier in his administration. A spokesman for Governor Kemp texted that going forward, state agencies will track how much they spend with companies owned by minorities and women. Live at State Capitol, Richard Belcher, Channel 2 Action News.